Hello, brother. Okay, so the table has dried from having a coat of oil on it, and from feeling it, my gut feeling is that it doesn't need another coat of oil. I have managed to find some of the wax that my mother had. And basically what I'm going to do with this is just here, you can't see it very well, I might get the camera closer before I actually do this. Just here is a bit of a groove. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up one of these waxes, whichever colour is closest to the colour within the groove. Heat it up, let it melt, and fill in the gap. And that's what the masking tape's for, and the candle, and the matches, the e-cigs, just for me. Before I do that though, I do need to just give the table a light sanding with my super fine wet and dry pad. So yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to get done today, because I am suffering big time with my back. I've got an MRI scan in a few days' time for my back, to be honest. But I'm suffering, but my intrigue got the better of me, and I wanted to see how the table was. Also, I'm having quite a bit of an allergy reaction, perhaps to the dog hairs. So I needed to get a bit of a break from that for a while. So today, I'm gonna, like I say, give this a light sanding, and then I'm gonna fill in that gap. Now I'm gonna try and do it the same way that Gilboys did, which is basically heat up the wax, masking tape off the area, heat up the wax, and let it fill the hole, the trench, and then get a piece of plastic like a credit card or something like that. Now I've left my wallet over in the house, but I'm sure I can find something here, because I don't want to use a metal scraper, because it could damage the wood. But I'll get a plastic scraper and just smooth that off, and then the table's ready for waxing. Whether I do that today or not, I don't know. It depends on how I cope going forward. Okay, so I am going to give the table a quick light sanding. So I need to move this stuff. So it's a horribly cold day today. Okay. I wonder if that could do with a bit of a clean, really. Where's the brush? Oh. Yeah, it does. Now, I last used this pad on the table, but when it was still picking up whatever the finish was on it before, so it was a little bit clogged up. Okay, so I'm going to take it nice and easy today, and just now this light sanding is not to key the surface or dig into the surface, it's just to smooth any nibs off, as they're called. So from when putting the oil on, if there's any little bits that are sticking up, or any dust or dirt that has fallen on the table over the nights. it is feeling lovely and smooth. Oh. With me being so tall, I need tables to be higher. Like, I would like to be able to put my hands on a table like that. So this table's too low. The disadvantages of being tall. Some people think it's all fun and games being tall. Now you won't see any visual difference while I'm sanding this. That's because, like I said, it is a super fine sand that I'm giving it. And even though it is a super fine, I'm still going with the grain. Oh. It's feeling a little bit sticky, that. Oh. I must admit the table is feeling very cold because it is cold in here today. I'm not sure what the temperature is outside, but in here it is cold. Right, I am going to give this a quick back over to get all the shit up, and then I will work on that. So I'm going to stop the recording for a minute. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the camera up very close to this groove. Now it might not look that big compared to the size of my hand, but it's the depth that would be a problem for me. Now there's a bit of a mark over here as well, but it's not very deep, so I'm not worried about that. But this, it's just got a little bit of depth to it that I'm concerned would basically make the finish look a bit shit. So what I want to do is work out which one of these is closest to the colour. Now it's a bit difficult for me to see really. You know, I think it's the darkest one. Yeah, the darkest one is closest to the actual mark. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to split these apart. Ah, yes, I can. So I'd rather not mix them. You can actually mix these. You can mix these all together. Now, annoyingly, I've just knocked my candle off my little base thing. I'm not going to worry too much about that groove. Now there's a couple of reasons for putting the masking tape on here. One of which is just to make it easier. Another is if I drop any of the wax off to the side, it won't matter because it'll be on the masking tape. Now, for anyone that has been watching my videos, you will know I have not had much luck with masking tape in the past. But I'm not too worried about that at the moment. Now, once again, this is a Gilboys technique of masking tape application I am using. Of using lots of little strips. Although this masking tape is a bit shit. Yeah, use lots of little bits to get the desired coverage. Now I know this won't be the most exciting bit of YouTube you'll be watching today, but it's all important for my own learning and for the overall finish of the table. Now I know I've said already that I'm not after perfection here. I'm not. So that, I mean, you might wonder why I'm doing this if I'm not after perfection. Well, it's just, yeah, I'm not after perfection, but rather than me ending up trying to fill that hole with my finishing wax, I can actually use a proper wood repair wax rather than the wrong stuff. So it's about using the right stuff for the right job. Okay, just about there with the masking tape. Now obviously this is something that I haven't done before, but I'm not going to fear it. Well, I am. I'm afraid of setting fire to fucking everything. Right, now I do need to refit my candle to my temporary base, so bear with me a second. Just need to make sure I don't set fire to myself or heat up the wood accidentally. I know you can't see what I'm doing here, but don't worry, that bit's nothing exciting. Right. I'll pop that there. Hopefully it won't start burning anything. Right, yeah, so the base of that's got a little, actually I can put it on. I can put it on top of my masking tape. You can't see it like, but don't worry. Rightio, here we go. Let's light said candle. Okay, so what I'm going to need to do is warm up this wax, heat this wax up to its obviously melting point. Now again, you can't see exactly what I'm doing right now. Okay, that's not quite gone to plan. I'm going to have to hold this a little closer, I think. I'm just going to basically spread it in there. It doesn't matter if I overfill it because I'm going to be taking the top off. Now, I don't think I'm doing this as properly as it should be done. I will be honest, it looks a little bit nasty, but let's see how we get on. It dries rather quickly. Now I'm going to take this masking tape off. I don't know if it'll be too soon. Oh, would you believe it? It's all come out the fucking hole. Okay. Maybe I needed to leave it longer. Right, well that bit of masking tape's fucking useless. Now I'm wondering whether I just go for doing it without the masking tape. I'm going to try that. It might not work. There's only one way to find out. Fucking good match that. Fuck's sake. I need to relight my candle. I've got to be very careful about where I'm putting these spent match. You know, I'm going to drop them on the floor because it's, at least that's concrete. Okay, so I'm going to try this again, and I'm going to try and be a little better with it if I can be. And what I don't want to do is burn the wax. I just need to heat it. Oh, I splodged. See, this is where I could end up absolutely ruining the table. Hopefully not, though. Come on. It's a lot harder to actually put on than I was expecting. Unless I'm just getting it too hot or not hot enough. It's drying very quickly. Fuck off, I don't want splodges on the table. I'm going to ruin this, I know it. Let's see if I can take that off quickly. I don't want that sitting, settling in. It's going to, innit? How to fuck up 2 days' work in 30 seconds. Now you may be wondering, why am I using a pill packet? Well, these are my antidepressant pills. So when the doctor next asks me, are the tablets helping? So yep, they help me sand the table. They help me fix the table. So that has not worked anywhere near as well as I would have liked. I'm obviously not quite doing it right. I mean, it might be a different type of wax this, where you can just rub it in rather than having to heat it up, or maybe I've heated it up too much. Let's see what. I mean, annoyingly, it's not looking better than it was before. Hopefully it'll look better afterwards though. You know what I think it is? I think it's just a wax where you can just rub it in. Now annoyingly for these waxers I haven't got the instructions for them, so I don't know if there's going to be any specific, like got to leave it to dry for so long or what. Either way, I must admit I'm not overly impressed with with how it's going at the moment. Let me try and get this a little bit closer again. It's drying. Literally, I take it from the candle to the table and it's dry. Oh, no, you're not meant to be picking it up. I must admit, this is not going as well as I was fucking led to believe. Oh, that was burning. That was too hot. That may have just damaged the table. You know what? This is not going to plan at all. I am not happy with that in any way, shape or form, and neither should you be looking at it. See if I can clean it up a little bit better. So turn that around so you can't see my old address. Okay, well, that's looking a little better, but it's still not quite right. Obviously I need more practice at my wax, I'm sorry you can't see, my wax applicating. Maybe I'm just thinking too much about it and just need to blob it in, let it drip on. Bollocks. Okay, that may have just got the hole that I wanted to get. Right, let's leave it there for the moment and get this fucker up. Right, I'm going to leave it for a few moments and let it dry up a bit. I'm definitely not, I think my technique of application has not been very good here. I probably should have just gone with reapplying the masking tape. I've taken a chunk out of it. For fuck's sake, Dave. Spend all this time working so hard and you're just going to ruin it. I think the table's going to need another fucking clean. Okay, let's go this way. You cock. Okay, perhaps I do need to just leave it longer. It could end up looking better. At the moment, that ain't fucking happening. Right. Just leave the majority. Just take off the wider excess without touching the main part. There you go. Now let that fucker dry. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a bit. Okay, right, as you can see, I have reapplied some masking tape. And the reason for that is I found out that I missed a step, which was before I ripped up the masking tape last time, I should have scraped it down. And then when I took the masking tape up, it would have worked a lot better. The actual application I was doing was kind of right. I was just making a bit of a mess of it because I didn't have the masking tape there. So I am going to go again. And this time, hopefully, get it right. Now, I did give this a bit of a clean up before putting the masking tape down. But let's see how we get on this time. Now, ideally, I want it dripping. I want it dripping without burning. If it's not going to drip on, I can just push it in anyway. Now, I'm not going to worry about putting too much on at the moment, because with the masking tape there, hopefully that should solve any excess issues. But yeah, it would appear that me missing the step that I did, it's kind of quite an important step, because it should allow me to push the wax into the crack and compact it down, while also making sure I've got plenty of wax on there. Now, it doesn't look too clever at the moment, I'll admit that, but it doesn't need to. Hopefully it will look cleverer than last time. So I'm going to give it a few moments to try and let it dry a little bit. Not long though, because I want to still be able to move it. Now, with the way I've put the masking tape on, I can only scrape it from one direction to the other. So already it is having a bit more of a smoothing effect. It is also very, very bumpy though. Maybe I can try going the other way as well. I wonder if this is an illegal use of a driving licence. To be honest, I think I need something a bit tougher. Either that or I have just put way too much on. Because I think at the moment, even if I did try pulling up that the masking tape, I think it would come off. So I'm basically just gonna scrape it until it's pretty much flush with the masking tape. I must admit, this is a messy fucking job. Although I'm probably making it a lot messier than it actually needs to be. Now, hopefully doing it like this as well, it is going to be pushing the wax in rather than pulling the wax out like I was doing earlier. So if I get pulled over and they ask to see my licence and they want to know what's all this black shit that's around there, oh well. I have to be careful there, it's starting to pick a few bits up. Things what I don't want to do is I do not want to lift it all out when I lift the masking tape up. Now annoyingly, when Gilboys did his, he didn't wait very long between putting it in and lifting his masking tape up. I think that's gonna peel off. I think I just need to keep going with the scraping for the moment. I'm getting a little bit of a hole, a divot in there. This better be fucking worth it. And at the moment, I'm going to need to re-fucking clean the table. This bit here is not helping me with my cleaning. Not quite flush with the masking tape yet. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. Well, it's not what I kind of, it is what I'm aiming for. I'm going to have to clean the fucking floor as well as the table. Okay, it is definitely starting to smooth up a lot better. And I'm noticing that in certain parts it is much more flush, like there is almost flush compared to some of the rest of it. I must admit, I was not expecting this to take this long, but then that's like everything with this project at the moment. Taking longer than expected. You know, I'm not far off being able to lift that masking tape. Oh shit. Oh, I've kind of wedged myself in a bit here. A slightly different angle of attack. Careful, don't dig in too far. I'll be amazed if this actually ends up looking how it's supposed to. It's not the kind of thing that I would normally end up being able to do correctly. So let's going to go with try a slightly sharper edge. The driving licence isn't quite the same sort of plastic as a credit card. Not that this is the same sort of plastic, but this has got a sharp edge. Oh, careful. Doesn't want to go the other way as well. That's pretty much flush for most of it. I just know my luck, I'd be able to get most of the masking tape up, and then there'll be one or two bits where it just pulls up the whole fucking lot. That's why I'm sort of trying to take off as much of this wax as possible, so there's less to try and get picked up. I suppose that's where the tidier you are with it, the better it would be. I bet this is riveted fucking YouTubing, innit? definitely not the ideal plastic to use, but that is now just about flush with the whole thing. It's just a little bit here. Okay, I think I can attempt to take the masking tape off. Let's right, well that bit's come off okay. Fucking hell. Okay, it looks a bit extreme at the moment, but that's because there's still a bit of it to take off. Basically the thickness of the masking tape. So come on, don't go fucking pulling out now. Just smooth off. I'm not sure that I'm satisfied with that. I'll be honest, I think it looks worse. It looks out of place now, unless it's because I'm not overly keen, unless I still need to take quite a bit of it off. Must admit, with how it's looking at the moment, it's tempting me to go, you know what, I might just fucking dig all that out. It doesn't quite look right. Doesn't look natural. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in that, to be honest, and I'm now concerned that I could be taking up the oil off the table. Yeah. I am a bit disappointed with that. For the amount of effort, for the look, mean, maybe it'd have looked better with a lighter one, but I said it doesn't look. It doesn't look like it's meant to be there. And maybe it's just because I haven't cleaned it up completely yet. You know what, there's still an edge to it. I think there's a lot more on it that needs to come off. Okay, all of a sudden it's starting to look a little bit better. Sounds like it's hammering it down outside. Okay, maybe I was just being a little too gentle with it. I've just dug into the table. Yeah, twat. That is starting to look a little bit better. I think basically I just hadn't taken enough off. I still need to take some more off this edge. Okay, now it's looking a little more natural. Not a lot more, but a bit more. Still not quite convinced with this edge. I'm just get the feeling that there's a bit of a lip on it, and there is. Okay, don't think there's going to be much more that I could do to that. I say as I take a bit more off, although I am digging this in slightly. Right, I'm going to leave that as that is now.